Hello, welcome to Scotty's Toy Box. I'm Scotty, and they say the third time's the charm. And I hope so, because if I start this too many more times, I'll never get it finished. This is a short video on culture wars and what Trump's election and what the Republicans in his cult, and it is a cult, it's a cult of Trump, what they are really about. See, I've been following the news, and even this morning they interviewed people across the country, and people split into two groups: those who voted for Trump and those who did not. And there were some Democrats who voted for Trump. And when you really parse it down, why, it came down to the culture war. Well, let's go back a bit and try to remember some things. Trump demonizes, and he's always done it. I can remember back when the John Kerry was running for president against Bush and that. Do you remember all the demonization of Kerry? Do you remember the swift boating? Here was a guy who had served honorably in Vietnam, had been shot, had the Purple Heart, all the honors, and that was John Kerry against Bush. Now, Dubba, they said he was a good man and that he served in the National Guard during Vietnam, but his actual service was really in dispute. Seems he spent most of his time furloughed or on assignment to help different political campaigns. Helps when your daddy has lots of money. And then Trump never served at all. Let's remember this brave, proud man who claims he's the best and the greatest, and he could kick Joe Biden's butt and all that shit. He deferred. He deferred 5 times. He finally got out of it because he claimed bone spurs. Now, this is really an incredible character feat. He had bone spurs and yet could still play tennis. You know, it's incredible. Obviously, he lied. He had his daddy was wealthy. He had his daddy ask somebody, a doctor, to sign a note, and they did, and he got out of it. And what do we expect? I mean, this country has become an oligarchy, and we're in danger of becoming a fascist dictatorship. And it's all about the culture wars. People said, oh no, there was economic concerns. That's the lesson the Democrats want to take away from this. It was economic concerns that caused people. They wanted something different. They didn't feel that they were included. No, it was a backlash. It was a backlash against a black man being in president and the fact that the whites felt that they were not the majority in charge anymore. That broke their mind. Literally put them into a pizzy tizzy. Now, the other thing was the evangelicals, the Christians. They had lost the culture war. Why? The gays could legally get married. It makes my straight marriage oh so terribly not real. God clutched their pearls. You know what? If my 28-year relationship with my husband, who we got married just as soon as it was legal in Florida, because I wanted to make sure it was legal and didn't get taken away, which it might now, but we've been together 28 years, committed to each other. And if that somehow ruins your marriage, it ain't on us, buddy. You got to better look at your marriage. Okay? Because we ain't in your house, we aren't in your bedroom, we aren't in between you and your spouse. But it's a culture thing, see? The religious right with the Christians were losing control and power. And they'd had so much of it during the moral majority times in the 80s. Why, they could speak and people would tremble. Yeah, we got to do that because, the religious ones want it. But now there's all these people who are just saying, nah, if there's a God, he's out there somewhere. He doesn't really have anything to do with us every day. Clutch my pearls and gasp for breath. So, back to the culture of Trump, or the cult of Trump. I shouldn't say culture because Trump doesn't have any kind of culture, good or bad. He just is a complete, shall we say, buffoon, to put it nicely. But He has a cult following. I watched a guy today on the news say, "Oh, yeah, Trump's doing so much. What's he doing?" Well, I can't tell you one specific thing, but he's doing a lot of it. And I liked it. And one woman said, I like that he's not a Republican, he's not a Democrat, he's just Trump, and he says the right things. He says what's on your mind. And that he's accomplished so much, and they fight against him so hard. Again, what did he accomplish? Really? Has he accomplished anything? That North Korean summit. Oh, yes. Now they know, and he knows because the intelligence reports go to him before they ever come to the news, that North Korea has expanded its nuclear program, and they're humming along just fine, thank you. They won't be needing any help from us on their nuclear plans. Oh, then what was that summit all about? Well, it was to make Trump feel good for his cult. Hey, he did something that nobody else had done, right? He went and talked to the dictator. Yeah, but there was a reason why nobody else did it. Yeah, that's true. But he don't care. Let's boil it right down to brass tacks. This country right now is in a crisis, a war of whether whites are going to be continue to be a majority, whether Christian is going to be the dominant religion and have force and power. Don't pay any attention to that little thing called separation in state. You know, we'd rather have our church be the state. Oh, a theocracy. Just like them places like Iran and Saudi Arabia and all them other Muslim ones. Not sure how good that worked out for them. Anyway, now, it's a culture war. We got the whites, we got the religious. What other thing could it be? What could it be? Oh, yeah. On whether we're going to be a civil society or not. And why do I say that? Well, we've had marches for the Proud Boys. What are they? They're a group of thugs. What about the Nazis, skinhead movements, you know, the white nationals? Let's call them what they are, fascist. Well, what do they all want to do? Oh, they have their goals. But what are they trying to do? They're trying to intimidate. They're trying to wear you down. They're trying to make themselves look bigger than they are. Oh, they want to brawl all the time. They don't want to get into a room and discuss and have a solution. That don't look good on television. It's not good reality TV. You know, they did learn one thing from the gay pride parades. They got attention. They got people thinking and they got people talking. So, this is what these groups want to do. These fascists. They want people out there thinking, oh, gee, you know what? I kind of like that idea. I could be them. I could be them. It could be me. You know, I'm tough and rough too. On my couch with my beer belly and everything else, you know. But hey, I'm white. And yeah, I could say I'm Christian. And more importantly, I chase the women's. And I do things to them even when they don't want me to. Because my president says it's okay. Well, that's basically all I've got to say on it. Anybody who has a different opinion, anybody who wants to argue it out, leave a comment, we'll get together somehow, email or on video, Skype or whatever, and we can talk about it. But don't let anybody fool you. This is about how we're going to be as a country culturally. The cult of Trump is a bunch of thugs, feel-good wannabes. That's all they are, feel-good wannabes. I feel good about it. All right? The other side is working hard to find solutions to real problems, make this a decent country for everyone, to have a secular government. Not a sacred one, a secular one. That means we keep the separation of church and state. You go to church and do all the Hail Marys and Mother May I's and holding snakes you want, but please don't bring them into Congress. Don't pass laws based on them. And it's a culture war of whether we're going to treat people with respect. Now, as a gay man, I can tell you, I'd really appreciate that. Because every morning I go and I read a whole bunch of headlines where somebody is sure that if I have my sexuality hasn't caused hurricanes, then my marriage is going to cause the end of the world tomorrow. And please buy our subscription to our slop bucket or whatever it is they're selling that day. So it's culture war. Figure out which side of this culture you want to be on, because history will judge us harshly. And whatever you do, as a friend or as a guy I watch on YouTube, Holy Kool-Aid says, whatever you do, don't drink the Kool-Aid. Alrighty, I had fun with this one. It's 10 minutes. That's my new limit, so gotta go. Be well, be happy. Hugs.